So, as a person who has been practicing, and actually all my life, but consciously practicing for 15 years energy and working with it, not against it, in the past, the last 10 years, I'd say over 10 years, I would take energy, negative energy, and transmute it. So, I realized I was cleaning other people's debt. And when I would clean up other people's energetic debt, it would erase their accountability. And if anything was to happen, I would eventually have to pay off the accountability because energy goes in spirals. And I realize I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not there. Transmuting energy for yourself, your environment, and everybody else can be beneficial and helpful if you have, look at my hair, if you have a team of like-spirited individuals who care about your well. So you may ask yourself, okay, so what next? What are you doing next? What's the next step? Obviously, in every case, situation is going to be very different. It doesn't mean I'll never transmute energy. It's not about that. Because, I do channel in ki, chi, prana from the higher frequencies, whether it's from the sun, the stars, different galaxies, into the earth, into my body and my environment. Ever since I've been living in Mush district, I will tell you, within this 2 years that I've been living here in Mush, there was no renovated brand new apartment. There was probably one down that way, and now almost all the apartments in my building, and we're the oldest ones here. We were the first built ones. Construction all summer, consistent construction. So it's like the stealing theft energy that this is. If you've lived in Guri long enough, the region of Mush has been known that when they built these buildings, the government of Sir Sarkisian, they basically stole a lot of the money from the diasporans that funded these apartments. I paid for this apartment. It wasn't given to me by the government, but it was given to the people who were living in Domix, right? So the government stole a lot of that funding money, and they hired no experienced literal teenagers and also men that had no experience. So so everything is like uneven, hasn't been, the cheapest quality things, and a lot of stealing energy has been sitting here for so long. And so me being here has repetitively, I've had to endure it. Plus there was a spirit that died in my bedroom. So it was a lot, plus everything. So in order to get out of that cycle or pattern of energy, because I will no longer be accountable for other people's debt, I'm not paying off the karma of the community and population no longer if I'm not going to be treated right. So, for example, all those men, construction workers, anybody. Someone like Sevan Kabakyan, these guys, they all have daughters. People that I try to physically hit on me, degradatory, whatever it is. I've noticed those with the daughters, taking that big ball of energy that they themselves send my way and sending it right into their own bloodline. As a practitioner, as a channeler of energy, because I can remove energy out of people's auras and energy field, I will send it right into their own daughters and mothers. It's the only way to teach you a lesson and how to get you to stop doing what you're doing. It's not to scare you. Energy is very real. Science backs it up. We all have energy. We all thrive off or live off or die off. So this is how it's going to be. It doesn't mean I do this to everyone. No, I'm a very noble person. I believe in honor. I live it by my own book, my own value system. I don't need anybody to tell me how to be. I'm dignified. I will say it again. I believe in family life, but for people who are very dishonorable and disrespectful, you deserve what you get. Sometimes the only way you'll understand is through your own blood being hurt. Bye-bye. So, in actuality, I've been pretty much transmuting people's energies ever since I can remember. It's just some people are very sensitive to energy. They're natural healers in a sense that I would sit in rooms with people and their energy debt would come to me, and it was like my energy would just cleanse their energy, and that's not right, because that person has an energy debt for a reason. So I started becoming conscious that I'm transmuting energies, and I would consciously transmute energies. And now I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just going to give it to you, and you're going to have to deal with it and just block it out. And these things are real. So literally, like, energy in the energy communities. And when I say that, in communities where energy practitioners, which is esoteric, people, the definitions, it's a little too much, but people who work consciously with energy, okay, or who channel energy or move energy consciously for a living or for a hobby or for their own well-being and other people's, okay. What am I talking about? I fucking forgot. Yeah, so this is a real thing where I no longer will be doing it, because it's like I'm being held accountable for cleaning up nations and communities and groups of people and my family and friends and random strangers that I meet, and they're drawn to me because their subconscious energy is telling them, go near this girl, she's transmuting your energetic debt, so on, quote unquote, karma. I'm sending it out into the universe that I no longer will be doing that. It's not my responsibility to clean up and transform, whether it's free or with money, whether you know it or I know it. It's not my responsibility. And years ago, I actually was friends with a girl who was working at a crystal shop. She used to be a banker. Details are not important. Forget about it. What I want to say is I'm sending it out to you and the universe that I no longer will repair or clean your energetic debt. I will not be held accountable or responsible for the mistakes and the deeds that you occur or you do, and your actions that occur, because that is coming from you and that is coming to you. And that is how you are dealing with things. I'm not going to be held accountable or responsible for your debt no longer. And this is a direct message to people watching me. This is a direct message to nations and communities. This is a direct, I don't care, past, present, future. I'm not going to be held accountable or responsible. If you've got karmic debt, you can block that energy away. I'm going to be working with light code energies for this. Totally off topic. When I was in Vanacor, there was this man, older man. I had just gotten off the phone and I was speaking in Armenian, and he's like staring at me and he's like, I'm a photographer, this is my studio. And he shows me, because I was at the corner of an downtown area, and he's like, I think your face is so fascinating. He goes, on Russian television I've seen people with face tattoos, but never in person. He's like, can I take a photo with you? I'm like, sure, why not? He's like, I want to show all my friends that I've met an Armenian with face tattoos. I'm like, why not? Totally off topic, I know.